Hey folks, Cool18 here, and welcome to another episode of our Unity 2D tutorial that we are using as an excuse to make a clone of Flappy Bird because it's very, very topical. So I still got God mode turned on, which is good because the game is still brutally hard. I want to add scoring now, so I'm going to do that. Now, I do have a bunch of sprites that I made here for the score so that we had sort of nice, sexy graphics for the actual points. But in the interest of time, I'm sort of kind of going to skip out on this. It's not hard, I hope, to understand how we'd use those. Basically, you would set up sprites on the screen here. Oops, actually in the scene view. Give me a second here. Where's my scene? There we go. In the scene here, in the camera, what you do is you could set up your sprites. But normally you would have them, say, hidden. So you'd have like multiple digits laid out. Right, sort of in order. That is not one of my numerical digits, like this. And you would have them enabled or disabled, depending on how many characters you needed, and a few other things. This is like a sprite-based way of making numbers. And obviously, you would switch which sprite is being displayed to have the digits correct and just sort of cycle through them. You could do it in animation. You could do all kinds of things. So in the interest of time, I'm actually going to skip on those, and we'll just use a regular GUI text object, just because it's going to be a little bit faster. So we're going to do GUI text over here, and why can I not see it? It's probably not in the correct z-axis. No, that's not right. Is it facing the wrong way? No, that's not right either. What's going on? Why can't we see our GUI text? Let me switch to the different camera mode here. What? What? Alright, don't go in perspective mode because it sucks and it's useless. Oh, is it like huge or something? No. What the hell's going on? Oh! Oh! White on white! That's the little things that screw you up. So yeah, default font size is fine. We'll just stick with Arial for now because why not? We are going to have it anchored at the upper left. That sounds right, which means if I move this all the way up to a 1, it'll be in relatively right position. The z-axis doesn't matter for the text, and we can shove it over to the right. Now this will be based on the camera position, so again, it doesn't really matter what my aspect ratio is. We're going to be all right. If we're square, are we actually losing that bird? Yes. Which is a mistake. You go back to 2D mode because my camera was supposed to be set up. Oh, it's because my camera is smaller and more zoomed in now. That's right. So there. Yeah, so when we made the camera like just smaller, we lost that. So again, the square view is not going to be ideal because you don't get a whole lot of warning. The game is much harder on a square screen, but it still continues to technically work. So that's good. We want that. Okay, so we've got our text. Great. The text is supposed to be the score. So score, well, GUI score. And again, it's not going to be particularly attractive. I could switch to a different font if I brought one in here. Let me do that. It's still not going to look great, but we'll improve it ever so slightly. Where are my Windows fonts? There we are. And we're going to grab my favorite font that there is, the font that I use for my video graphics. Let me just shrink all this stuff down. We are going to copy. Can I paste in here? No? Really? Okay, but if I show the Explorer and go into Assets and paste, there we go. Blitzkrieg. Right there. Okay, so we've got that come in. So now if I go back to my GUI score, I should be able to assign. I don't know why it's going to my second monitor. Assign Blitzkrieg. Looks great. Again, the reason you would often use the sprites is so that you could do like different colors and sort of borders and whatever, but I'm just going to use the black text. And so it's just going to say score 0 for now. And I'm going to add a component called score. And what's it whining about? Oh, just an extra like dummy character. Okay, score. So we're gonna public int score equals 0, and actually we're gonna make this static. That way, other scripts can just go score.score and give us points, which will be quite nice. And update is once per frame. So this is actually has a GUI. It has a text, right? Yeah, it has a GUI text. So actually, we do want to start. GUI text void start text equals get component GUI text. Actually, can we? Is that true? Could we just go GUI text? Is that built in? It is built in. Son of a bitch. So we don't need that. We don't need that. Good. And dot text equals score colon plus score. And we also would like to know what our best score is, don't we? So let's not make this public. Let's go high score. Static public void add point. Score plus plus if score is bigger than high score, then high score equals score. So we can do multiple lines in here, that's fine. We can go plus, I think we can anyway. Let's find out. High score plus high score. Okay, this is not really going to do much right now, but let's see what happens if I hit play. There we go. That works. Alignment, right. Play. Anchor upper right. And, oh, that's not going to actually save. We want upper right, right aligned, and we can move the X to be in the corner, but we'll give it a little bit of padding. So we'll go 0.95, and actually bring this to 0.95 as well. Ooh, not that much, actually. 0.99. 0.99, just a fraction off the corner. There we go. Looking good. Looking very good. And so, how do we actually score points? Well, we'd also remember to save these high scores. That would be very nice. So how do we actually add points? In our pipe object, which is a prefab, which is very convenient for us, we're going to go over here. I'm going to make a new empty in here, and I'm going to add it to this pipe. We're going to center it. This is going to be the score box. So we'll add a box collider 2D. And what I'm going to do is move it. I'm going to change the width. It can be nice. It can be skinnier. And right here. So the idea is when you get through the box, this trigger will trigger and give us a point. Score point. And that should work. So void on trigger enter 2D. Do we even need a collider? Probably we do, actually. Collider 2D. Collider, because we still have to check the tag. Because conceivably, we could find ourselves colliding into the ground or with a pipe object or something stupid like that. So, if collider.tag equals player, then score.addPoint. Just when it enters. This should never trigger twice, but just in case, you go bool. Actually, just in case, that's what we'll do. We'll go gameObject.enable set active false. We'll just disable ourselves after we've added a point. Just this little score box, just to make sure there's no freaky way that it can be scored twice. And apply. So now, yay, we scored some points. But you'll notice if we stop and start over again, our high score is back to 0, which is not good. We don't want that. So in our score, we want on destroy, when the game is over, we want to save our score. So we were going to go player prefs dot set int high score. So we're going to set an integer in our player preferences called high score. Then also when we start, we're going to go player prefs dot get int high score. We can also give it a default. We'll give it a default value of 0, so that way there's no like weirdness, no errors if something goes wrong, and we'll just set the high score to that. So now, if I play this and get a point, or 2, or 3, and then stop, play, bam. Good. It saved my high score. Next thing, we need to make our player not invulnerable and have us respawn. Have us properly die and respawn. So turn off God mode, hit play. Right? Just make sure that things are still working well. We can go through one pipe and then die. And then, you know, what happens? It should really give us a pop-up. You know, throw up another sprite there with some more graphics. That's what the actual game does. And, you know, just say something. But that's easy. It's just having another object. That's the scoreboard that's normally hidden, right? Just have it disabled. Just have it sit there. Have it disabled. And when it's time, when the player dies, enable the scoreboard so you can see it. And then have another copy of the score, high score, right there. And then make it so that if you hit a key at that point, then you respawn. So, and actually we can do that as part of the player bird script, for example. Because why not? We have lots of extra logic there. We'll just keep adding more. So we want a cooldown, a death cooldown. Because we want it so that if you're hitting the spacebar to fly, you don't instantly respawn. Okay? Death cooldown. So when you die, and we're going to make it short. And we could have it as a variable, a public, or whatever. We'll just set it here. Just like half a second. Just long enough to make sure that we don't instantly restart the game and not see our score. But not long enough to be annoying, which is really one of the big draws with these games. If it's going to be hard, it can't be frustrating to respawn. All right, so we set a death cooldown. So then on the update, we, if dead, then decrease the death cooldown, time that delta time. Else, so we're going to not do the did flap stuff if we're dead, because that would be silly. There we are. So if we're dead, we're going to do that. Now, if by any chance, if death cooldown is less than 0, less than or equal to 0, it doesn't really make a difference in practice, then we're going to change ourselves to no longer be dead. We're going to reset the map. There are a few different ways of doing it. You know what I'm going to do to make it the easiest possible way? I'm going to go application.load level, and we're going to tell it to load the current level. Again, application.level, loaded level, which is an integer. So we're going to tell it to load the level with the same number as the current level, and that should reset absolutely everything. It won't reset our high scores. Let's try. We're going to get a score of 1, and then we're going to die. Oh, wait. That's not how we want to do it. If death cooldown is less than 0, then check the inputs. Wait until we've clicked something, and when we click something, load the level. Let's try that again. So I'm going to get 1 point. Oh, I got the point, even after death. I'm not doing anything, and then I hit space, and it's going to restart the level. It did not reset my score. Because it's a static. That's right. This is a static because add point is static. So on start, set the score to be 0. Yeah, all right. We've got to make it so you can't score if the player is dead, though. Yeah. So we're going to grab a copy of Bird Movement. Set it public there. So score over here. I'm not organizing it the best way, but screw it. Bird movement, bird. On start. So we're going to set bird equals to get, game object dot get find object with tag player dot get component this. I mean, this should never, ever, ever fail. but I guess I should be safe. Game object player game object equals this. If player game object equals null, debug.log error, could not find an object with tag player. Something like that. So now player game object dot get component bird movement is that. So now if bird dot dead return. Don't add points if we're dead, because it's entirely conceivable that we'll die and then roll through the pipe and go through the trigger, which would be bad. Oh, it's a static and it's ruining everything. Oh, that's the problem. Static score instance equals this. This is overly complicated. Instance equals null. So we're going to keep track of what our actual active score object is in something called instance, and then we can check instance.bird.dead. The alternative to doing this, all this nonsense, is if at the time we score a point, we found the player at that point and check to see if it was live. The problem is that that's actually kind of a slow thing to do. So we'll do it this way instead. All right, let's make sure we cannot score while dead. Oops, I need to actually make it through the pipe. I need to die while through the pipe. Oh, and sort of roll through it. Oh, there we go. And it only counted as 1 point, which is good. Reset the score. Awesome. Let's go see if we can create a new high score. Up, 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 up. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, good. Yes. All right. Okay. You know what? It's way too easy. But we've got a new high score there. How to make it harder? Well, we can tweak the speed in all kinds of different ways. Tweak the spacing between pipes. Although I don't know if I'd make them any closer than this. It would be a little bit awkward. It would also be really nice if you had one object responsible for spawning the array of background, foreground, and pipes, because then you could just tweak one number to change the spacing of all pipes instead of replacing them all. But again, I will leave that as an exercise to the viewer. Have you noticed the score's not going up again? One, two, die, respawn. Well, I'm just failing. Oh, no, it is. All right. Maybe it was going up, and I just looked up at the same time that it was like 6 and high score 6. I guess we're fine. Let me see if I can get to 7. Oh, for crying out loud. Use the mouse for a little bit. And again, this should work perfectly fine on a tablet. I will be testing later on my Android to make sure that I've done it. Okay. Because unless you're using multi-touch, you can just check for mouse click. Wait. How come I can't? Oh! I'm an idiot. Okay. The problem is, this object, the scoring object, is disabling itself after you score. But these objects get reused after the thing gets rearranged. So we can't disable ourselves. Or, again, we need that logic so that the pipes themselves know when they've been moved so that they can reset all this, which we don't really want to do. I guess over here in the BG Looper, I could go in and find the thing and enable it again. That seems pretty awkward. I'm going to assume you can't double score. Yeah, how could you? Because you can't bounce. You could double score when you're in God mode, but now there should be no way for you to, like, enter the trigger and then hit something that bounces you out, because you'll be dead at that point. Alright, well, it's a good thing I tried to go above 6 points. But that's why I was not seeing the number go up, and I thought it had something to do with death. There we go. 8 is my new high score. This is so much easier than actual Flappy Bird. And yet, not that easy. I think I should increase the hitbox. just to make more. Yeah, see some of these close calls is really should not be a close call. In actual Flappy Bird, those are unforgiving deaths. Let's increase the radius to a whopping 0.1. Bam, look at that. Actually extends past our little bird here. Anyway, there we go. We have, oh yeah, that's brutal. That is mean. So we have a complete game. It doesn't have the initial start menu. That actually is no good, especially since you will just insta-die before you know what's going on. So I should make a little initial pause screen prompting you that, hey, you can click and make your bird flap. I actually have never had Flappy Bird on my iPhone, so I have no idea if this is realistic or not. And I know it's not, because I know it's much, much harder than... Actually, did I not download it? No, I think I played a clone somewhere. I can't remember. Maybe I just watched too many YouTube videos of people playing this game and getting frustrated. Because this is obviously way, way, way too easy. Do the pipes not move up and down enough? Now, they are randomly being positioned. So you could have one at the very top and then one at the very bottom. But it feels like it's too generous, isn't it? What the hell? Now I can't find a copy of Flappy Bird. I'm gonna have to download one of the millions of clones on the App Store so I can compare exactly what makes it so much harder. Should there be less space? I don't think that's the case. I think the problem is that the physics are too easy. So what does that mean? More gravity? More gravity and then just a stronger push when you click? I think that's what it comes down to. I think there's like not enough sort of vertical speed going on. It's too forgiving that way. Let's make the gravity scale 0.6. And make this public. And increase the vertical flap to 150. Oh, right. You can still go like up past the limit of the screen too, which is no good. Okay, that's actually much, much harder to control all of a sudden. The fact that your up clicks are so much stronger. Not that bad. But a fair bit worse. Okay. We're not going to worry too much about like an accurate recreation of Flappy Bird. What I'm going to do is in the main camera, we're going to add a new empty in the main camera. This is going to be called Sky Kill. Great name, isn't it? We're going to add a component, which is going to be a box collider 2D. We're going to make it... size doesn't really matter, because we're going to be properly locked over here. At least I don't think so. Here, we'll go ahead and make it that. Advance it forward. Move it up. That, so let's see here. There. Ooh, that is really unforgiving ceiling, which might be good, but I think what we have to do is extend it slightly past the top of the camera. Not quite that much. 0.1. 0.5. Let's see. There we go. You do have to like slightly go past the top of the screen. It doesn't. The important thing is that it doesn't look like you die before hitting the top. You're slightly intersecting the ceiling when you die, and the ground is good. All right, not bad. I suppose if I want to make it harder, I could also make the forward speed a little faster, and that might be. Ooh, that would be mean. Let's do it. Let's really do it. Where are you? Over here. We're going to go public this up. Forward speed. Double the impulse. Now, the drag is still actually fighting that considerably. It should not allow it to accelerate indefinitely. Whoa, that is fast. That is way too fast. 1.2. Just try slightly faster than before, but not ridiculously so. Oh, are you kidding me? Come on. Whoop. All right. No, that's pretty good. Let's go back into my graphic thing over here. We'll deselect this. We're going to add a new graphic here. Let's make a rounded rectangle tool. We will set the fill to be equal to this color. That's not what I meant to do. Try that. There you go. Recently used color. Fill to that. We've got a stroke. So if I do this, ooh, that is too thick a stroke. There, not bad. So we want, grab that, paste. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. That's the problem. Control that. There we are. Grab this bird, copy, paste. Like this. And then we'll set a, what do we want? We want a custom shape of an arrow. What? Why are you in that direction? Makes no sense. Not even close to what I want. Something like that. Text. On a new layer, please. Not in the shape layer. Click. To fly. Center this. Use the amazing Blitzkrieg font. Grab you. Resize you like that. Move you kind of like this. Change you to be white. Do that. Copy a layer style. Paste layer style. Save you. Head back over here. Go to my sprites. Open up the sprite editor. I'm going to create a new sprite right here. Bam. Auto trim the size. Perfect. Apply. So now, if we go down to sprite 21, we get the new graphic. So we do this. I'm going to align you to the camera and center you just to make sure that you're always right in the middle of the screen. We're going to add a start screen script. There's a question. Yes, I will do this, but I won't attach you to the camera. Because when we reload the whole scene. Okay, here's the problem. When we die and you respawn, it reloads the whole level, which means this will be present again. Oh, we can do it with a static. There we go. Okay, start screen script. Go here. We're going to make a static called boolean saw once equals false. So by default, this start screen, we're going to turn off the renderer. So if we haven't seen it yet, we're going to do a bunch of stuff. And then we'll make sure to set this to true. We don't need an update. Well, actually, we do. If we haven't been seen, then get component sprite renderer dot set active enabled equals true. So that way it'll be visible, and we're going to set the time dot I don't remember, how do we pause? scale. Time scale is equal to 0. This is the cheapest way to possibly pause the game. I think update still gets called. Ooh, am I wrong? Still need update to get called. Yes, it does. Okay, good. That's excellent. So update still gets called. So if, what are my key controls? I really actually need to centralize all my key checks because I'm going to be screwed if I want to change what my inputs are. But we're doing bad programming today, so we'll just keep going with the bad programming. If this, so if time scale is equal to 0 and we've hit a key, then set time scale to be equal to 1. So we're going to unpause, and we are going to hide ourselves. Bam. All right, let's try this. Hit play. Should start off paused. Good. Click to fly. We're going to die. And we don't get the pop-up again. Beautiful. And the game is just fast enough to be vaguely difficult. What you could do is make it so that it's less likely for a series of pipes to all be in a row. You could change the up and down gravity and verticality. You could make it you move to the right slightly faster, although it feels like this might be as fast to the right as you want. I think that the up needs to do more. I think that's definitely what needs to happen. I feel like it just stabilizes you a little too much on the drop. I think that's, yeah. Let's go and bump this up to, like, I don't know, 250 flap speed. Whoa! Insta-death is bad. Yeah, that's too much. And it's possible the bird just starts too high as well. Let's drop you down a little to the ground. Since the first click is going to make you go up. Actually, that's excellent. Let's do that. Boom. Oh, you know what would be fun? Hang on, the start screen. Let's enable the renderer. Let's take the player bird and line it up with the graphic here. I mean, just vaguely, so it's behind. Okay, then we disable the sprite renderer again. So then when we hit play and we launch, it's that actual bird. Oh, that's brilliant. I have to apologize. If this is the way it actually works in Flappy Bird, I apologize. Again, I don't have an actual copy. The more I think about it, I don't. I have just watched some YouTube videos of people playing this game. Whoop! So I don't know if these controls are so much easier or so much worse or whatever, but the general idea is there, so you people who have played it or are looking for something specific can duplicate it. Looks like we still have a little bit of tiling weirdness with our ground, but again, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I think it has to do with just how some of the pixels are lined up. Yeah, in fact, I'm sure of it. All of our ground, what's the, yeah, see, that's kind of awkward number. Let's grab all this. Ah, yeah, and they're not all the same. So, negative 0.28 seems relatively reasonable. Boom. So now they should be all aligned. And on slightly less of a... No, still the first one's a little bit weird. It could be the sky bits, too. We're going to call it 1.28. And make sure the rest of the sky is set to exactly the same. Alright, these are all... Yeah, they're all set properly. Good. There we go. That looks better. That looks much better. Oh, son of a bitch. Now, none of you better go and put this thing on the App Store, hoping that you too can make $50,000 a day. I've got to say, now that the up thing is so much stronger, it's actually unforgiving to push the button while you're going through the pipes. And there's still the problem, like, clicking too often makes you go flying. Whoa! It's so much harder now. Oh my god, that's brilliant. Shit. Excuse me. I should not be cursing. This, clearly I've done something right if now all of a sudden I'm cursing this game. I'm never going to get to 25 points again. Oh, that's the other thing you can do. You can add like little score medals. I know that's supposed to be in the game. I don't know what would count as a bronze. 2 points? Oh my god. I think the up has to be nerfed a little bit. I think it's a little too much. Let's go to let's split the difference and go to 175 over here, and hope that's slightly more manageable. Yeah, that's better. That is so much better. Oh, okay. Good, excellent. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. You can always email me at quill18@quill18.com as well, and of course, reach me on Twitter at @quill18. And I hope you enjoyed this 2D tutorial, and hopefully we can get back to some more 3D stuff soon enough. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.